Hey guys, how's it going? Kevin Cleary here with a most carried video for, I guess, December, January, that'd be 2018 and 2019. And so I want to talk to you guys about what's been in my pocket the most often. I also want to cover a couple of other things with you. One, I want to show you some previews and updates, and then I want to talk a little bit about reviewer bias. So that's all going to come up at the end, or near the end, I think. I'll probably do the previews and reviewer bias discussion at the same time. Before we get into all that though, I got to show you guys, this is the Olight i3T that I did a first impressions video on a little while ago. Mostly I shared that because I wasn't sure how long these would be available. I believe they can still be purchased on Amazon, so I'll put a link in the description box. I love the way the patina is forming on this. Super, super attractive. Anyway, let's move that out of the way and get into the knives, which is what everyone really wants to talk about. I will say this, since we're doing the sales pitch stuff, White Mountain Knives, I'll put a link in the description box below. You can use my discount code SHARPSTUFF, and they've got a couple of good things over there, and a number of the things that I have here on my table came from them. So I feel like it's important to mention that they're partially responsible for some of the knives you're going to see in this video. All right, finally, let's go ahead and talk about some of the knives that have been in my pocket the most often. The Chris Reeve knives in Cosi, I think is going to be, this has been in a lot of these most carried videos. This gets a lot of pocket time for me. This knife is so well put together, and it just strikes such a perfect balance. Perhaps the most perfect balance of all the knives that I'm aware of between being carryable, being usable, and being that one knife that can really, really check a lot of boxes. Like, is this a good EDC knife? Yes. Is it a good work knife? Yes. Is it a good hard use knife? Hard use folder. That's a different designation than a hard use knife, because I think for real hard use it needs to be a fixed blade. But is it a good hard use folder? Yes. Even a tactical folder? Yes. I mean, this just checks a lot of boxes. So I carry it a ton because it doesn't matter what you need to do with your knife. This is up for the challenge. Another favorite knife, although one that I do baby a little more than I baby my Inkosi, is of course the Curtis F3. And you know, these Curtis knives have been around for a little while, certainly since I started getting into knives. And you know, for so many years, this was such a grail for me. So owning one is just a joy, and I do carry it an awful lot. Even days that I don't actually carry it in pocket, I'll be over at my knife rack. I have sort of a rack that hangs on the wall, and I'll be taking it off and flipping it and just using it a little bit, you know, kind of carrying it even just around the house for 20 minutes because I like it that much. All right, let's move over to some other sort of high-end stuff. This, of course, is the Bag Knives Steelcraft Bodega. This is the Riot Crossroads. The cool thing about both of these is that they are collaborations between, well, no, this is a bag knife, Steelcraft, built by Riot. This is an actual collaboration between Riot and Kirby Lambert. So in this case, Bag Knives just hired Riot to build this. In this case, Riot wanted to build it, and they worked together with Kirby Lambert to design it. And of course, they're both going to get some of the proceeds from it. Okay, so I love the fact that, you know, these Riot builds offer something very, very close to what you're going to get from an actual custom. They're just so well put together, so refined, and just they tend to just get everything right. You guys probably recall that I was missing a screw on this knife, or some of you will know that if you've been around for a while. And so one of the reasons I've been carrying this knife a bit is because I was not able to carry it for like 6 months while I was trying to get a screw from Bag Knives. And so now that I've got one and I've got the knife up in proper working order, I just feel the need to carry it a little more often. Other knife, obviously, is the reason I brought this knife in, the Lambert Crossroads, is because this is a knife I reviewed a little while ago, last week or the week before, and I kind of wanted to just say, hey, just as a form of an update, I do still carry these knives after I review them. This one, I just adore this knife. It is so beautiful. It is so well put together that I absolutely enjoy the heck out of it. And, you know, I've had a couple people ask if they can buy this from me already. And I don't know, man, this is going to be one that I'm really, really hard pressed to part with. And so again, it's been in my pocket quite a bit lately. Let's throw in a couple of WE knives here. This is the WE Knives Crux, done in collaboration with, well, this is the Ferrum Forge We Knives Mass Drop Crux, okay? It's a Ferrum Forge design built by We Knives, distributed through Mass Drop. And it is such a well-done knife that while I sold the first one, I just couldn't bear not having one. And so I picked up a second one. Now, what I suspect may happen is the Mordax, which is coming out, the Ferrum Forge ProTech Mass Drop collaboration, which will be essentially this knife only larger. That knife may replace this one, and so I may put this one up for sale once the Mordax comes, but this is kind of here to tide me over until that time. Since we're talking about We Knives, I've got the Streak as well. This one hasn't been reviewed yet, and so it will be coming up for review. But I am really enjoying it, and I carry this one again an awful lot. I just find it so well done. The action is great, the lock is great, the deployment is great. It's really well done all around. So that is the Streak. Been in my pocket quite a bit. Oh, yeah, a couple last knives. Here is the Benchmade Freak. That's coming out in a new version with G10 M4 steel. And so this one I absolutely love, and I've been carrying it a fair bit. This one's kind of cool because I bought this knife originally, used it, reviewed it, loved it, but decided to sell it to finance something else. And the guy who bought it, when he found out that I was kind of interested in getting a Freak back in the collection, offered to sell it back to me. So I was able to get literally the exact same knife that I had. And this is such a great knife. Now, I do anticipate selling this one, not because I don't love it, but because I do love it. And I want to be able to have a little fun, some extra funds to put toward the new one that's coming out. Let's grab a couple of knives here and throw them in. These are from Real Steel. Both of these, by the way, are Ostap Heel designs. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. But these do come, you know, I can buy knives from Real Steel at a bit of a discount, which is a great advantage. As a reviewer, that is a huge help. Not as much help as if they were free, but still better than, you know, a kick in the head. So I wanted to use these to talk about reviewer bias. You know, when you get a knife at a discounted price or when you get a knife given to you for free, what does that do? You know, if you watch a video from, say, Nick Shabazz or from lots of reviewers, okay, they'll say up front, you know, such and such a company sent me this knife for free, and I don't think that biases my review, okay? Well, the fact is every review is biased because we all have our own personal preferences. We have likes and dislikes, and we're not going to be able to escape those biases. So it's good to tell people what the situation is. However, I'm not sure that either reviewers or even consumers, viewers, understand exactly what that means. And I think in many cases, when a company sends us something for free, sends a reviewer something for free, one, there might be a little bit of jealousy on the part of viewers, like what's the deal here? And if that's the case, hey, start your own channel, review a bunch of stuff. Yeah, you'll have to buy it all yourself for the first, you know, few years, and then maybe somebody will start sending you stuff for free, which would be awesome, okay? But when stuff does come in for free, I actually find myself being more critical. I feel like I don't really have anything invested in this, so whether it's good or bad totally depends on its own merits. On the other hand, if I've had to spend my own money and invest in something, then I'm not going to do that unless I like it. And if I've decided I like it and I've spent my money on it, it's harder to admit that you made a bad purchase. And so I would suggest that it may be the exact opposite of what people think, that getting something for free from a company may bias you the opposite way, not in favor of the product, but almost against it because, you know, one, you're trying to be fair, so maybe you're more fair to it than you are with the others. Sort of like, you know, I don't know if you've heard, you know, you've probably had this experience before. If you have to coach your own kids in hockey or organize an event where your own kids are involved, you're often harder on your own kids and expect them to sacrifice more than you do other kids because you don't want to be accused of nepotism. Well, you know, sometimes I think when you get something for free or even at a discount, you're more critical of that item because of the same thing. Like you're afraid viewers are going to be like, yeah, you're just a corporate sellout and you're giving it a good review because they sent it to you for free. And if you crap all over it, they won't give you another free thing. you know, maybe there's a one reviewer out there where that's the case, but I highly doubt it. Most reviewers, you know, I would say maybe almost biased in the other direction. So that's my take on that. I still think it's a good habit to tell you guys as viewers whether or not something was free or offered at a discount rather than that we paid full price. But where you guys can go with that, that's where I kind of wanted to set the record straight. So when I say it, you know, I'm hoping people aren't like, well, yeah, he's obviously going to give this a good review because they sent it to him for free. That's definitely not always the case. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I'd love to hear your comments down below about any of this stuff, about any of the knives I've shared, questions, comments, whatever else. And if you've got some copper stuff, I'd love to see it. So either, you know, I guess you share it on Instagram, feel free to do that. But if you want to go over to the Sharp Stuff Facebook page and share pictures of your copper stuff that's developing a patina, I think that would be a cool little photo gallery to check out. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.